This is Just on Amazon on Tuesday, May 8th, 2018. And we're changing it up a little bit because I was just glancing at how the day went. This is today. And it just kind of chopped around. So this is how I usually start up a video, or do the video prep, sorry. Start the video, you know how I start that. But I just take a look at this and see, okay, where did we go? What did we interact with? We're still above the 1578. So then I'd zoom in on a couple days here and see, okay, what's going on? And naturally my eyes just kind of drifted to this channel. Let's see if I can draw it real quick here. Something like up here, down this angle, like that. My eyes just kind of caught that. It's like, oh, okay, we're just kind of continuing this downward motion from yesterday and kind of got a couple touches. So had you drawn this in, even if you drew it in pre-market today with a couple touches, you know, maybe a little bit above this one, this one, this one, and you could have played off these levels, but nothing really going horizontal, which is what we prefer to see. I mean, you kind of have the level here that we talked about yesterday coming into play as the upper, you know, above the upper boundary, but then really grabbing right here. So this is a place that you could have said, okay, a wick up here, you know, if we come into this area, just short it right away because you got this above it, and then you got these levels here as old or yesterday's support turning into today's resistance. And so you know, that's the only horizontal that really showed up in here. So let me try and draw that in real quick, you know, around this price level. And this is not going to be completely horizontal, but close. Okay, so you go. There's a setup. I mean, even with this tightened up a little bit here. So had you grabbed, you know, those lines, you know, above this low, you're right in there. So short it right off that, could have written that down almost to the line here, would have retested, probably wicked out here if you were still in looking for an exact hit. But I mean, all this stuff you can just tweak. Got a little bit of a line here instead, you know, grab that lower wick. Maybe we'll move this up a little bit. So maybe we'll go like that. So there you go. It doesn't quite touch here, but you got touch here, here, almost here. So I want that last one to touch too. So we'll bring this down a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, can we bring it down? Actually engage. Oops. Like that. There you go. Okay. Touch here, touch here, touch here. Broke through, came back. Touch here, touch here, touch here. Rally right into it here. That's great. So now let's look at the bottom one. Oh, I think I grabbed the wrong one. No, wait, let's see. There we go. Okay. Now if I grab kind of the crossing point of this one, got to touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here. Great channel. I you know, want to say perfectly drawn channel, but is it ever really perfect? Because, I mean, it goes through it a little bit and then comes back. But anyway, this is the setup. Getting into a put up here, riding it down to the low down here. So let's see what would have happened if you bought, let's say you somehow bought that low, that option, and that was at, so let's zoom in on the day. So that was at 10:15. So let's go look at the put. The 1575 put. Way too far away. What did I say? 10, 15. So that only moved from like a low of 650 up to 10. Let's get a little closer and see. Let's say we went with, I don't know. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. 1590. Let's see what this put does. There you go. There's a wick. Wick down at 11 at 10:15. Let's say you bought at, oh, the opening low. So you had your trigger set to get you in at 11 with a stop at 10. Trigger at 11, stop at 10. That could have worked. I mean, maybe you would have been filled, maybe not. But I mean, look at that. On the option, you're looking to buy at the open low. And you could have just ridden this up, you know, through this wave all the way up here into the open high. Look at that. That's a great setup. So that would have been buying at 11 and selling at like 16. Or let's be a little more generous on our, or less generous on our entry and say 1050 by 16. So that would have been 550. That would have been 5.5 R on that trade. That would have been great. And that would have been taking from right up here at a line all the way down to right in here with lower wick. And just looking at this level for the option, looking at this level for the option, would have worked. So some of the bounces, this came up, came back down, came up, came back down, then made it up. Same with this one, it went up, down a little bit more, and then up. So it kind of had some waves to it, just going up to the upper end of this channel. And so this one actually moved a lot quicker, went up, down, up, down, up, down, up, but didn't have the swing back down almost to a relative low, just like these had, relative lows, or a little bit lower low here. I guess a little bit lower low here. This one actually changed that. So what I'm picturing is if you just kind of break up the day a little bit to say, okay, I'm going to look at this. No, I don't want to draw that. We'll look at, draw me a box. There we go. That's the box. Let's see if I can do what I want to do with this now. Okay, grab that box and say, okay, we've got that area. So now let me copy it. Copy, duplicate. Where's my duplicate? There we go. Look at that. That's cool. So within the range of this box, all right, so let me get this a little bit lower just to grab it. I start the corner on the touch, the first touch of the lower box. That's normal. I actually, the same size box for both of these, since I just duplicated, you saw me do that. Touch this corner, it actually would have hit the target, the upper end, before the end of this box. That box is from 11:55 to 1:35, so about 95 minutes, 95 minutes box, hour and a half to have that kind of move with some chop in it. I mean, that's pretty cool. So, all right, the last one now, if we duplicate this again and then try over here, because we touched again here, what does that do? Now we actually got to that upper end faster. But look at that, 3 times. Bought here, sold here. Bought here, sold here. Bought here, sold here. Or the flip side of that, you sold up here, so you sold here, got there quick. Sold here, got there a little longer. Sold here, got there quick. Come down into the lower end. So could have played this both directions. Let's say somebody bought a call here on the bottom, so 850, 855, and got out when it came up to the upper end at 1015. So let's go look at the call, and we'll see that call to have 1600 call. So we'll see how that moves, because it's close, but not quite there. So yeah, would have had been buying on these big candles. So buying down here. The low on this was 830. Maybe have a setup 9 by 8, but kind of unlikely that you would. It rallied, came back down, rallied, came back down all the way in here, pretty close to this level. Most people would probably be really hesitant to actually do something like tighten your stop up, but had you tighten your stop here, we've been whipped out right here. If you had it here or a little bit more range, it's possible you could have whipped out, or maybe not. But anyway, this was actually the place to get in with a quick move up there. So that was these 2 candles at 10 and 10:05. So that was, these 2 right here. That would have been a great bracket trade, saying, okay, go bullish up to here if it goes up, go bearish down to here for a quick half an hour if it goes down, and just get it on the move. So indecision right here, really sets that up well. So let me delete these from my chart and step back out and just show you that we're still within this range. I mean, we actually broke above it a little bit. Now we're kind of retesting, just like we retested here, this downtrend. So I'm seeing a similar channel. Let me see if I can do this one now. Duplicate, pull it over here. So this one's definitely a different angle. It's much steeper. So if I move this, oh, I'm grabbing the wrong edge to move it like that. No, I'm grabbing something wrong. It's not working. Well, this is what happens when you just jump into the video thinking, oh, there you go, thinking everything will work. That's a steeper angle, but you can see touch here, touch here, touch here, and then the bottom would have to actually move down some because, oops, I wanted to draw. Sorry. So this bottom boundary, maybe somebody's buying here. Hopefully they didn't buy there because that just opened and ran. And then pre-market even to this level, a little bit below, and then runs up. And then on this acts as resistance on this pattern, this reversal, inverted head and shoulder, or some sort of pattern there. Breaks out, comes right up into this level. So if we extend this, you can see, this was acting as, the bottom line is acting as resistance, the top one is actually acting as a good target, and then once it pushes through, it's a good retest level and then rally. And so when that happened, it retested again to this this level of this candle, and then rallied from there over the next couple days. So a little bit of a steeper angle on this one, but doesn't mean it can't work. So just like we were able to extend this one, I wonder if somehow, the open tomorrow. That's just not let me go. There we go. No. Okay, well, anyway, the angle's the same. If, the opening, so I know it shows the opening here. The opening price is somewhere in this range. I think it'd be very likely to come back down to 1578. Pause, chop it around a little bit. I mean, look at how much pausing this has done. It's after earnings. And let me go to it in just a sec. There you go. So it's after earnings. It's a retest of these highs through here. We're retesting right at that same level. And so, if we take a look back at the daily, we have a bearish candle right here at, kind of this resistance a little bit. And so we want to see this, first of all, trap somehow at a gap. That doesn't happen. Seeing some sort of a move where this is engulfed, something to show that we're bouncing. I would love to see it come back to 1578 and then rally. That's the engulfing picture if we could do that. But it does bounce off of this 5 exponential right here, and it could be off to the races. You got a retest gap here, and it retests into that. So it really has any value higher that it could go. It's also interesting is we're actually still holding this triangle that the program put on here with the feature that I turned on. But anyway, showing this as support, these wicks as support, that's still playing out even with a little bit of a flag, a little bit of a pause up here. Totally okay for it to just pause like that and go sideways. That was what we did through here. We had some bigger moves, bigger candles, and then they just didn't go anywhere until we actually broke out here, gapping up above. So if we do that, it'd be great to come back down a little bit with some more bearish candles and then get in above the high or above the high. And then look to take a little profits at the high today. So that's what could be setting up for tomorrow. Definitely keep an eye on what this is doing. It looks like a much longer pause here with a lack of decision on what's actually going on, which way it's going. But we can still trade the pattern we draw and see how that turns out. So it'll be interesting to see if that sort of column pattern downtrend angles kind of continues. Downtrend channel is what I'm trying to say. All right, so guess we will see what happens tomorrow. Thanks. This is Justin AMZN.